Bobo.
Rani.
Obanide.
Rani. Secondly, I guess that the people spoke loud and clear. Many factors are coming up.
Okay.
And really, beyond the national, if you like, pattern.
Yes.
Where increasingly people who traditionally vote MPP, if you look at the 2020 figures relative to 2024, just decided to stay away for reasons that we're yet to find out. Of course, I mean, going around during my house-to-house engagements, you got a sense that people were not inclined on voting.
Why?
Because some said that, well, we voted for you for 28 years, 30 years since Edubo Haine's time. We haven't got anything. Of course, some communities, we had issues with roads, especially the Kwikuma enclave, where they typically will vote MPP. It's one of our strongholds. We started some road project in 2019, spanning Kwikuma, Parisqua, Bakichi, some sections in Sekondi. All that sections were done.
Okay.
But the Kwikuma one, after the 2020 election, you see the contractors pulling off because of non-payment. And try as we did to get them to go back, you had them always coming back at you that, hey, I haven't been paid. And so when it got close to the election and we tried to engage them that, look, this is creating problems for us, and they go back, they really don't achieve much. The drip machines come in and you try to deploy them. They came in late though. And I get a sense that people felt that, hey, you guys, it's only when we get into election that you come and try and get some of these things done. So really there was no motivation on the part of people who traditionally vote MPP going out to vote. On the day of the election, during my own rounds, I saw the, for the youth, it was, hey, MP America and Tuaba, kind of. Oh yeah.
They wanted to be incentivized.
Yes.
To go out and vote.
Before they go and vote. I mean, you see groups of young men just idling close to the police station. 1, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, some 4. Just not interested. Everybody, all of a sudden, doesn't live in Sekondi anymore. Everybody is traveled in from Elmina, from Cape Coast, from Takwa, Pristia.
Wow.
And so you needed to be transport for everybody. And so, but I guess that people are raising other issues on the economy, cost of living, and all of that, I believe, we'll have to assess them properly to see what it is that made across the entire country in excess of 2 million people just deciding not to go to the polls to vote on election day. And I guess that whichever way you look at it, it's a humbling experience for us as a party, for myself as an individual. I was completely shocked. I mean, I did not for once believe that we were going to lose the election. But I mean, it is what it is. And we certainly have to do some introspection, look at the issues critically, and then see the way forward. I my own personal views about re-election and seeking mandate after you lose and all that. But of course, I mean, a lot of people are speaking to me that, hey, hold on, never say never in this enterprise. And so I guess that we'll leave it for the next couple of months to see how it all plays out. And then we'll take a final decision whether...
So this is in respect to your political future?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Now, I love research. I love data. So all along the elections, I was paying attention to the data. And anybody who followed, especially the work of info
analytics,
you see a trend. And the trend is that anytime they speak to people who voted NPP, and if you watch their polling, I don't know why they did that. Maybe it's a question I need to ask Musa Danko again. Anytime, if you see the political demographics, there are a lot more NPP than NDC in terms of the people they poll. Now, increasingly, you will see between 15 and 30% of people who say they voted for Akufo-Addo in 2020, saying that they will vote for John Mahama. And then in the case of John Mahama, you would find a maximum of 2-3% of people who voted for him in 2020 saying that they will vote for Bawumia. So that data suggested something, that there were a lot of people who, and I'm not discounting the issue of turnout. Yes, about 7 million people on the books did not turn up to vote. How they would have voted, we don't know. Okay, but the data consistently showed that you had sometimes as many as 30-35% of people who say that I voted this way for MPP. This time I'm shifting. I don't know if in your constituency, you at your level, at the MP's level, you had a situation like that.
If you look at the 2020 vote that, for example, I garnered about 17,000. It dropped to 11.
6,000 dropped.
The NDC candidate, I believe, got in the region of 10,000, and this candidate got about 14,000. So there was a 3,000 increase. But then again, you would see that a lot more people who voted for me in 2020 just decided not to vote. Maybe there was a shift in some of the vote to the NDC side as well.
So the NDC had 4,000 more in your place?
3,000 more, 11 to 13, 14.
Okay, 3,000.
About. So then, is it a question of new voters also playing a role?
So we had about 1.7 million.
All of them voting for NDC. But clearly, if you look at the national numbers,
yes,
Mr. Mahama did not increase by 30%.
Compared to 2020. Yes.
And so then it puts into question the polling and the sense that you got almost 30% consistently saying that they voted for Akufo-Addo in 2020, but will vote for Mr. Mahama in 2020.
That is if you assume that the voter turnout also didn't affect John Mahama. That's on the assumption that it didn't affect him.
So you see a clear motivation of traditional NDC voters going to the polls to vote. Traditional. I mean, that's what the data, as far as I see it, speaks to. And you see a traditional MPP voter, I mean, if you do a comparative of the 2020 and 2024, just deciding to stay away. Okay, so I don't know to what extent the 30% of people who said they were not going to vote for Akufo-Addo MPP this time, but will vote for Mr. Mahama, actually translated to real vote on the day. I'm just looking at the raw numbers, and I see Mr. Mahama essentially doing flat on 2020 with no significant increase in the region of about 100,000. That certainly does not translate to 30% of the 2.1 million or so, of traditional MPP voters. If you look at the 2020 figures, deciding to vote for Mr. Mahama, it tells you that they just decided to stay away. And so we need to find the reasons why they stayed away. And like I said, my own rounds when I was doing the house to house, especially when you go to Nkotompo, they vote MPP. I mean, that's the World Bank of MPP in the Sekondi. But they just didn't go to vote.
They didn't.
They did not vote. They just couldn't be bothered. And the sense you get, like I said when I was going on house to house, this time I'm here, Bamonto, and Twaba, Yatwa Mona, their children are going to free SHS. But they see your delegates, if you like, and they say it, that watch one as Naomi in Bia. So you need to take a step back. Now, and they say, well, after watching one of the Naomi in Bia. Now I ask that, so if, for example, you have people who, as I go around on house to house, police station executives following me about Christmas time, and you give them something to, is that what you deem as, watch one another man or in Bia? And you get people saying that, watch one fridges and one TVs now. They want to go to watch them all.
Well, like what happens
so
at primaries?
The delegates system. Because we live in compound houses, you see the kinds of things that police station executives are getting, the goodies, if you like, that they're getting during the primaries process. And so then it feeds into the thinking that, we're not going to go and stand in the sun and vote for you, so that when you get whatever it is that is associated with power, you share it amongst yourself to our exclusion. That played out. I'm saying that cost of living certainly will play out. And regardless of the circumstances that leads to the increases in cost of living. For example, you import-dependent economy, if your freight cost increases 4-5-fold, it's not a fault of government, but it will impact on inflation and the pressures that you see. And people feel that, Akufo-Addo's time, things have become expensive. You have the political opposition happen on it, and stuff like that. So, but at the end of the day, the vote is the vote. The outcome is the outcome. Mr. Mahama has won convincingly. Congratulations to him. I'm sure that as we speak, he's working to put his team together. I wish them the best. We'll critique them when necessary, support them if need be, and hope that they can also do their best to improve a lot of our people. I mean, for me, that's what matters. And then, as a party, I know that our flag bearer has spoken. There's some internal processes that is going to take place to try and rebuild, regroup, and then come back to fight another day. It's it.
Well,